Alright guys, Jamie here with Enjoyable Optimism. I'm going to kind of see what kind of frame rate I can get right now. I've having some problems with a lot of things going on. Got a lot of that figured out, so this is my Frost build. You can see my talents. You can go over them if you need to. MMO Champion does have a list of the current wild talents. So go there, check them out, so you can see what kind of things you'll be having. What you're going to be looking for is big thing, Fingers of Frost. On top of that, Water's Elemental grants you Fingers of Frost. Fingers of Frost procs allow you to use Ice Lance, and it doubles the damage, making it a viable ability to use. Icy Veins and Trinket for haste here. Use those in combination to grant some good spell haste there. You'd use Cold Snap to reuse Icy Veins right away. Basically Frostbolt, and anytime Fingers proc, you'd want to use Deep Freeze, which would do massive damage on a boss target. It won't do anything to these dummies, unfortunately. And Ice Lance. So in my rotation I won't be using Deep Freeze because it doesn't do anything with this. And as I am what I'll do is I'll go ahead and use it. I'm not running a recount right now. I'm just doing something basically to show you what a good rotation would be like. To start off, I would basically... Oops. And for some reason... That was a horrible start to my rotation. Okay, so you see how basically every time it comes up, with Fingers of Frost proccing, I'm using a Ice Lance immediately, unless Deep Freeze is off of cooldown. And on that same note, I am whenever Brain Freeze procs, I'm shooting a making sure I shoot a Frost Firebolt. Sorry, I'm just kind of paying attention to it. So this build seems to be, again, as Frost always seems to be, a little bit more mana efficient than Fire. I will show you Fire in a second here. But this is kind of the rotation that you're going to want to work out here. Now, I'm not sure if the freeze ability will work on a boss to give you the Fingers of Frost proc effect or not. I haven't been into a dungeon to test that factor out and see what it'll do. But you can actually do some decent DPS with Frost. I think the fact that they finally found a good design because they're redoing everything that allows the use of certain things such as Ice Lance. And of course I love Deep Freeze because you will get massive crits with it. So. Now, one little thing that you may want to do, if you get some, like this, I actually had two Brain Freeze procs. Use Fireball on one and the Frost Fire on the other. If they're close enough together. That way, I believe they have different dots. This is at least my understanding. I could be extremely wrong. And we will test this out as soon as I can. So that was a Fireball. There's normally a dot associated with Fireball, I thought. I guess not. So, they must have changed Fireball. Yeah, they changed Fireball finally, so it doesn't have a dot, it's only on Frost Fireball. So on that note, I would just use Frostfire Bolt. See the things you learn if you just sit here and play and actually think about it instead of just trying to do DPS. Your DPS greatly increases just simply thinking about how talents work together and going over the spec and finding good synergies with everything instead of sitting here and paying too much attention. Another good thing is when you're raiding, you're going to want to learn to basically hotkey things. Clicking on things means you have to pay attention to where your pointer is. I mean, people give a lot of people flack for this for one specific reason. When you're raiding, especially in the upcoming expansion, more than you would think, you're going to need to move around. And basically with that, you want to move around and not have to worry about looking where your mouse is, because you want to be raid aware and see where you're going. So with that, I mean, since I know where all my keys are, I can sit here and use my mouse to move around, pay attention to my surroundings, know exactly what I'm hitting, and it just basically takes practice to see, learn where all your keys are. Have what you need available close to you. I use in my hotkeying R, F, V, Shift R, Shift F to Shift V, Control R, Control F, and Control V. Middle mouse button, Shift middle mouse button, and Control middle mouse button. And then usually 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 are other hotkeys that I use to basically DPS as. Using this type of build, I can allow myself movement, memorizing where things are, knowing what I have to do to hit certain abilities, and as you memorize where your abilities are, you can basically build a sense of what you have to do, and when you do it, you don't have to look at your keyboard, you don't have to look at your action bars, and you can literally just pay attention to moving around and pay more attention to not only DPSing by watching your procs and such, but also making sure that you don't die, because the best way to do DPS is to not die. Simple. So this is probably going to be the longest one. As I said, I'm just explaining things here. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick showing of Fire Mage real quick, and then I will go on to another class for another video. Alright guys, this is Jamie again. This is my fire build here. Again, you can go look this up on MMO Champion. They have a current talent calculator almost all the time. Check things out there. In this build, basically you have Impact, which will proc, and basically your damaging spell is 10% chance to reset the cooldown of your Fire Blast, and to cause next Fire Blast you cast to stun the target for 2 seconds, and spread any fire damage over time effects to nearby enemy targets within 12 yards. Adds are a big part of a lot of the boss fights in this, so this will be something that you'll want to almost use on cooldown. Fire Blast would be. Of course, keep Loving Bomb up as much as possible. Scorch has an effect where basically it increases damage. Where is it? Oh, it's in here somewhere. Your Living Bomb Flame Orb spells deal 15% damage, and your Pyroblast and Scorch spells have a 100% chance to cause your target to be vulnerable to spell damage, increasing spell critical strike chance against that target for 5%. Now, if you're lucky with procs, you won't have to worry about this because you'll have Pyroblast. So what we're going to do in here, with this build, Blast Wave is actually a targeted spell now, and it'll instantly Flame Strike on the same spot. So what we'll want to do is get our dots up quick. We'll start off with a basically we'll start off with a Blast Wave and a Living Bomb, use a Combustion, reapply Living Bomb, Scorch the target, Fire Blast, and then go into our Fireball rotation. Right before we go into our Fireball rotation, that's when we want to kind of use our trinkets and such. A lot of raiding guilds blow cooldowns in the beginning of a fight instead of towards the end of a fight. That way, blowing the cooldowns in the beginning of the fight, there is a possibility you have them towards the end of the fight if the fight is a longer fight in a raid. There may be different mechanics in the fight that you want to save things and cooldowns, towards the end of the fight. It all varies. It's a per fight basis. Something that you should basically go over with your raid leader or your class leaders, and they will probably help you out. On this opening rotation, I will use Mirror Image and my trinket after I get the combust off, right before I go into Fireball usage, basically to get the best chance of building up. Well, I guess it's each time I cast a harmful spell. So on this, because this specific trinket, instead it's not a base haste, what we're going to want to do is actually use it before we do all these spells. So, guess we'll use both cooldowns. So, the way we'll do this is, let's see. There we go. So this is kind of how your rotation will be. As you notice, I'm getting procs just fine, so I won't have to worry about too much. Sometimes during your rotation, there's the possibility of looks like right now, if I don't get a proc soon, let's see how this is going to fall off. So reapply a Scorch. Simple as that, and just go back into your rotation. And wrong button. As I was talking with Frost Mage, it's all about learning where your keys are. You won't have these mess-ups and timing problems if you know where everything is. Fire's not... It can be fun. I think it's probably going to be the new rating spec. Sadly, I really like Frost. But I think if Frost's damage works out fine with the mastery abilities and such, then maybe it won't be too bad. Okay, so Combustion will be coming off of cooldown here before too long. Pyroblast does a dot, which is another thing you can stack with Combustion, so that's something that we'll be looking for. And again, try not to let Living Palm fall off the target. I'm not doing the best job, but, you know, hey, I am not the best anyway. Wow, this is great. I just really suck things up there. Alright, so we do that, make sure that's on there, do that, reapply, and then go to town. So you have to pay attention a little bit with fire, but it's very kind of boring in my opinion. When you're AoEing packs, I think it'll be decent just for the simple fact that the amount of damage that you'll output. But that's basically it. Alright, so I'll see you guys in another episode when I go over another class. I'll check you all later.